Welcome back. In the coming weeks, kids are going to be heading back to school, and while there, we trust that they're safe, right? But accidents can happen. So when a child is hurt, who is responsible? In today's Legal Matters, attorney Chad Florin is here to break down what parents need to know about liability and what steps to take if an injury happens at school. Thanks for being here. This is super timely. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me back.
Let's start at first by talking about the difference between a public school and a private daycare. Are there differences between them?
There are differences in a private daycare or just a private school. The big thing that I think that everybody needs to know about there are some different timely requirements that need to take place if it's a public school. So if something happens to your child at a public school, you typically have 180 days to put them on notice in written form about just giving them a heads up.
Okay.
That requirement doesn't apply to private institutions.
Okay.
The other issue are damages caps that you could be looking at. So private institutions, they're going to be insured in a different way. There's not going to be caps on damages that you'll see with public institutions, because at the end of the day, public institutions, they're considered the state.
And they have some sort of immunity, is that right?
They do, but I don't want people to get too hung up on the idea of immunity, because you hear immunity and you go, oh my gosh, I can't do anything about this whatsoever. That applies to high-level planning decisions. It doesn't protect schools from carelessness or a lack of supervision or hazardous conditions that exist at the end of the day. So if something happens, don't immediately say, oh my gosh, I think they're immune from this. Talk to a lawyer. And
when you're in a private daycare especially, or even a private school, you sign a waiver saying, I release you of all of responsibility, but is that the truth?
So those waivers are everywhere, and you look at them, and some of them you look at and you just say, oh my gosh, this is like ironclad. Talk to a lawyer, because if there's information or there's things in that waiver that go against public policy, courts are going to frown upon that. But it's so important that you have somebody with legal knowledge actually review it to see what applies and what doesn't apply.
And speaking of applying to things, does sports count, or bullying, things like that?
Yeah, it covers everything. There's great laws on the books for certain things with sports. For bullying, there needs to be policies and procedures in place to effectively stop bullying. In sports, we've got great laws on the book that deal with concussions, which I think is so important for our youth. So, for instance, if your child has signs of a concussion, they need to be taken out of the sport and need to be medically cleared before they're allowed back in.
A lot of great information. I'm sure parents have lots of questions. At the end of the day, though, call your lawyer if you don't know what the rules are or what the laws are.
All right. Absolutely.
Chad, thank you. We want you to know, I should say, if you want to revisit anything that Chad shared today, all you have to do is head to the 4 p.m. show page. You'll find that at KARE11.com.